All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, for the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the gospel of this truth. I want to apologize if I look a little weird. It's about like 40 outside, so it's cold in here. So I got my little face scarf on and my jacket. Uh, but just in case anyone was wondering, that's why I have it on, obviously. If it was hot in here, I wouldn't. But anyway, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to entitle this video, but I just wanted to handle a couple topics. The other day, I uploaded a minute video. I believe it was entitled Faithful Servants of Christ. Did King David go to hell? Or something like that, because I was in a heated conversation in the comment section with a individual, which I known about this guy for a good year. He's going off. He don't really know much, but I just got to be sarcastic with him sometimes. You know, just like Vocab Malone, right? You always got to be sarcastic with those guys. All right, which I got to get on his next smoke room. Right, I gotta put some slugs in that brother, spiritual slugs in that brother. Which obviously I'm just being sarcastic when I call him a brother, because he don't really know much. Um, you just got to be sarcastic. But anyway, back to the topic of discussion. Um, with faithful servants of Christ, well, so-called faithful servants of Christ, because he don't know what the hell he's talking about. But he ended up leaving a response to a comment I left him a week ago. I asked him, does hell exist in the Bible? Because he did a video and he referenced hell. So I asked him, can you show me in the scriptures where it exists? And one thing he did was he brought up an example. I don't know this. Give me a second. All right, it's lucky about that. Just to check on. So I brought up an example of King David, um, quoting, saying to the Lord, send my enemies to hell. I'm just paraphrasing the scriptures. I'm just paraphrasing the scriptures right now. Um, so he said that, he brought up the verse where, well, hell has to be a physical place because King David said to the Lord to send his enemies to hell. But then I asked him a question. I asked him, let's see if I can think of it. I believe it's in Psalms. I believe it's Psalms, the 16th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Basically, King David said to the Lord, though thy leave my soul in hell, I have not been forsaken, or something along those lines. But I know it's in there, so you can read that yourself. Okay? But the point of the matter of why I'm mentioning it is King David said that he himself was in hell. So my question to his faithful servants is, was King David actually in a place of burning? Never got back to me on it, because he got his ass cut 6 ways to Sunday with that one. Okay? Which, it's ironic, man, because every year or so we got to go over the hell thing again. Matter of fact, later tonight I see Sakari set up a podcast where they're going to be speaking about the myth of hell. I believe that's around what, like 9 p.m. or something like that. So I just saw that before I did this video here. And then GMS was talking about it the other day, and some other cats who are not affiliated with any camp were, on there, spewing their madness as well, saying, hell is real, all that nonsense. And, they bring up, foolish scriptures to try to prove their point. Okay, like one thing that faithful servants try to bring up was at Luke the 16th chapter with Lazarus and the rich man, and he was saying, well, see, hell is a real place because, well, look, Lazarus, the rich man wasn't, in hell, and Lazarus was in Abraham's bosom, is what he was trying to say. But I told him, just like everything else that, Yahweh Shai, or, who he calls Jesus or Christ, was speaking about was, for the most part, just parabolic and just parable. As in, it's a story that was basically made up to try to, give a point. Okay, it's not like an actual true story. Say, for example, what is that? The Grimm's scare horror stories or something like that. Which I was gonna get that book, but I didn't have the money for it. Shout out to anybody who knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, Grimm's fairy tales, they're stories that are made, to I don't know, scare people, or bedtime stories. A little bit of a darker bedtime story. But the point of the matter is, the story itself did not actually happen in real life. It's not actually a true story. It was just made to, I don't know, say for example, to make their children obey their parents, or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Or just to scare somebody. That's why you have campfire stories, which some of them are true actually, but that's debatable. Um, but the point of the matter is, a vast majority of the stories are just made to scare people, and sometimes just for good. Like, say for example, the tortoise and the hare. That was a story made for good. However, did it actually happen in real life? No. Okay, but it was a story that was made up for a good purpose. Is a good way to look at it. Um, so the whole hell thing, I always had to ask the question, because they say that the wicked go to hell when they die and the righteous go to heaven. Well, I have one question. If you go to the book of Job, the third chapter, um, Job was, he was saying that, he didn't want to live anymore. All the situations it was going through. But the point of the matter is, he describes what would have happened if he was to die. And he was saying that they were speaking about the spiritual world. You can read yourself. He said, there the wicked, they cease from troubling. All right, and there the weary are at rest. Right, the prisoners rest together there, it says. Okay, it says that great kings are there, and even newborns. Okay, children who died during birth are there. That's where spirits go when they die. When they pass away from their human body, they go to a place of rest, which one could call the spiritual world. There's no such thing as hell. Hell does not exist. That's a fairy tale that was made up to scare people into paying money to the church in hopes that they did not go to a place of torment after death. It's not an actual true story, just a fairy tale. The word hell is in the scriptures, but the word does not actually mean what someone thinks it means. Okay, and a good example would be, let's say for example, let's see, up Psalms 19:7. I believe it's Psalms 19:7, or it might be 17. I believe it's Psalms 19:17. It says, "The nations that forget thee and will not serve thee, they shall be turned into hell." So how are nations going to be turned into hell? It just shows that hell's not an actual place. Another good thing to mention, Jonah chapter 2, verse 2. Jonah cried to the Lord out of the belly of hell. It says that he cried out of the belly of hell to the Most High. But wait a second, he was in a fish, though. He wasn't in hell, according to the story. So how do you guys get around that one? So what comes back to at the end of the day is, these guys really just don't have the answers. That's really what it is they just don't have the answers for these questions. Okay, another one. I believe it's First Samuel 28, verse 19. If you read the whole chapter, King Saul went to a witch, or so he could summon the spirit of Samuel, so he could have a conversation with him, because Samuel died previously to him going, to the witch, so he could summon the spirit, obviously. And Samuel told Saul, now keep in mind, the Lord departed from Saul because Saul went off and was wicked, but Samuel died a righteous man. Samuel tells Saul that tomorrow you're going to go to war and you and your sons are going to die, but you're going to rest with me. Wait a second. Why is a righteous man telling a wicked man they're both going to rest together when they die? That throws away the whole hell doctrine. Okay? Now, Seventh-day Adventists say, yeah, we agree in purgatory, which basically is rest, but then they still believe in hell, that when Christ returns, it will be hell. That's not true. You're going off too. Because, there's slavery in the kingdom of heaven for the other nations. And the lake of fire is just, the lake of fire is America after it gets hit by those intercontinental ballistic missiles, is what the lake of fire is. Okay, when you read the story, okay, that's talking about America. That's not talking about an actual place, the dimension where there's all fire. That is not. That's not true. That's false. False information. Okay. So I just wanted to give a little bit of 2 cents on that and to show why hell is not true, and just to expose that individual that I was commenting with just the other day. So yeah, if you like this video, you can feel free to subscribe to our page. Um, and yeah, if you have any other scriptures to add, you can put them in the comment section down below. But anyway, I'm gonna say shalom.